Good morning. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Hi, good morning. Welcome to Creative Mornings. I'm Erica, and today we're going to be drawing in our sketchbook, same as usual. This is where we left off last week. So I'm going to continue it. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to finish this. I promised that I wouldn't move forward, and I tried very hard, and actually I forgot about it, so it was actually not so bad. But I'm gonna give you guys a little recap of what we've been working on, and then I'm gonna finish this one today. And I think that this week we might also talk a little bit about how I know that there's lots of ways to do this. I just want to share what I know, how I turn my drawings into stickers or other digital products. No, not digital, physical products. But just how I very easily, quickly, low budget, digitize my images and create things with them. So I'm going to share that with you this week. Last week I had some images, and you'll see them pop up on the screen. I think we left off right here. Oh yeah, okay, I have the ice cream cone here. We drew all of these last week on Thursday before I had to wrap up for the week. And then last week I had trainings all day on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so I wasn't able to live stream. But my training is over, and now we can get back to business. So I'm going to finish this one up. There are lots of photos that we drew from. We have some strawberries, a lemonade, watermelon, and then cantaloupe slices on a plate, which was my favorite one to draw and the one I was most looking forward to. All of these photos, if you would like to go and look at them, they're on my Patreon page. It's a public, open page. You can see them if you are a patron or if you are not a patron, but I would really love it if you would follow me on Patreon. I do host open free events every now and then, so I'd love for you to follow me there. But that's where I posted all the photos for this spread. So if you haven't done these and you'd like to go back and do them, the photos are available. They are all from Unsplash or maybe Pexels. They're all free, copyright free images that you are welcome to use. And they're posted for you so you can find the exact images that I drew from. Now, today I will put the photo that I'm drawing. I try to remember to put the photo that I'm drawing up on the screen so you can see what I'm drawing. And again, you might want to use a separate device so that way you can zoom in and kind of check out those photos a little more clearly. So this is what we drew so far. I had already kind of sketched things out. So you can see my sketch right there for the ice cream cone that's coming next. And then I decided I was going to just use this empty space to put in some like text. So this is what I have. These are all the colors that I used, and I did pull those again today. As a little reminder, I'm using the Ohuhu Nahuku markers. And these are the only colors that I used. I try to always like work with a limited color palette. I just think it makes the sketchbook spreads look really good. But I mean, you can use whatever colors you like. You can see like I even use these colors for my strawberries. And sometimes if I really feel like I need it, I'll bring in another color, right? So I'm not closed off, but I do as much as possible try to kind of like limit myself. I think it just makes for a better product in the end, but you should do it however you like. These are the colors that I'm using, and if you are working with the same markers, the Ohuhu markers, they're acrylic markers. I did post a picture with all of the colors that I'm using on my Patreon, and I linked it. So you can see exactly the colors that I used if you want to know that. I don't know, maybe you care. Okay, so let's go ahead and get drawing. We have a little less than an hour, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be more time than I need. So I'm going to try to take it slow. And If we finish early, great. That's even better. But I will pick up on this one tomorrow or like the next step when we're digitizing things. Now, last week or the week before, we also did this spread, and this was my personal curriculum. So I have some more images that I can show you how to like turn them into things if that's something you want to do. And I think that was, did we do more than that? I feel like we did more than that. I thought we had one more. Hold on, let me check. No, I guess not. Huh. I thought we did more. I think maybe we broke that one up into a couple. Oh, we did this one also. Not last week, but the week before. So I have lots of stuff to use, and I have other drawings in here from other projects, so I can, you know, possibly use those for digitizing or like turning into stickers. But I really like this spread, and so maybe I'm going to try to make like a sticker sheet or something like that that is only these things. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. All right, so I'm going to continue where I left off. I think here's where we ended, and I do have my photos on a separate device over here just so I can see them closely. Sorry. Okay, so I've got the photos here. I might go ahead and just do a little bit of work right here on the seeds. The seeds are probably like my favorite part of the drawing. Let's see that. I feel like that's a little dark. So I always want to spend a little bit of extra time on those. And of course, my drawing style is very, I like to call it painterly. I like to call it loose because I'm not super interested in recording every little detail. I'm more interested in a sort of like impressionistic rendering. So, I mean, I love to see how different everyone approaches this. So if you do work on a spread like inspired by this, I'd love to see what yours looks like. So definitely think about sharing that with me. You can follow me on Instagram or just share with me on Instagram. I'm Erikabeeswax. Hi, good morning, Emily. How are you today? Got a couple of different greens here that I can use. So I'm just I don't really feel like I need to do too much more there. So I'm just going to stop there. I'm going to move to the next photo. Apparently it's an ice cream with sprinkles. So I'm already having a little bit of concern about that just because I don't have a lot of colors, right? So I'm just going to do the best that I can. But this is the image that I have designated this space here for. Hi, good morning, Nina. How are you? Are you guys drawing today, or are you just, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Are you all drawing today, or are you just chilling or co-working or anything like that? Now, I drew the cone and I drew the shapes for, very loose shapes for the ice cream, and I did leave room for the hand. And I sketched it out. But, you know, now I'm feeling like maybe I don't want to draw that hand. So I might not, and that's okay. So we'll see what we're going to do. Okay. So I have it kind of laid out. I'm going to ignore the hand. So that's going to turn into something else. And I do encourage you to kind of pick and choose what you want to include from these images. You know, all of these images are not meant to give you more trouble or to make life harder for you. I've chosen things that I thought maybe worked well together, and you can pick what you like from there. Now, one of the things I have always loved about doing live streams or being part of another artist's Patreon is that I'm often kind of pigeonhole myself. Like I know what I want, what I like to draw, and I kind of stick with it. And so I feel like sometimes when I join someone else's Patreon, I draw things that I never would have drawn before. So that's something that might be something to think about. you can always pick and choose what you want to include. But I would encourage you to think about trying something that maybe you're not super comfortable or familiar with, because again, our sketchbook is just practice and it's play and it's a low pressure space to make, right? Emily says that you're excited because your brother bought you the 120 Ohuhu markers for your birthday yesterday. Happy belated birthday! That's awesome. Oh, you're a summer solstice baby. So you have a lot of markers to work with today. Oh my gosh, that's exciting. What color scheme do you think you're going to be using? Did you already start this one, or are you starting a fresh one? I feel like sometimes I also feel like I often just kind of lean on the same colors that I love. And so I always try to force myself to start with something that isn't intuitive for me. Like I don't naturally want to go there first. And so I've been playing with a lot of colors this summer in my sketchbook that maybe aren't my go-tos. And I'm hoping that that kind of, helps me to kind of build my color flexibility and understanding and capabilities. I feel like I learn a lot about color by playing with it in my sketchbook. And of course, if you are not familiar with the acrylic markers that Emily and I are talking about, these are really wonderful because they are opaque. So, right, I don't know if you noticed, but when I was drawing this, I kind of like resketched over the melons, over the cantaloupe. And, the beauty of these markers is that you can go over them and it will sit right on top of the layers underneath. So because they're opaque, you can really just kind of make corrections to mistakes. You can make changes as you go if you are not feeling something that you did. Or like me, I was just drawing, and I forgot that there was like going to be a space here for the ice cream cone. So I had just started drawing over it, but now I can go back and just like cover it up. So these markers are the ones I'm using at the moment, but originally when I started doing a lot of my, I don't know, like before I started my Patreon and I was starting with all the like content creation like 6 years ago. I was not a marker person at all. I never really used them. I was a painter, and I moved to markers because I wanted something easy and flexible so that I can work more consistently. Like I was really kind of bound by my studio when I was doing oil painting, and so I didn't want to be like using that as an excuse to not draw a little bit every day. I started a daily painting practice and a daily sketching practice, and markers became an easy, very flexible, very versatile way for me to practice daily. I could put a couple of markers. That's also kind of why I just use limited palettes. Is like I don't have to take all my markers with me. I can just take this little handful in my bag. Take this if I know I'm going to go get like, I don't know, an oil change or something like that. And I don't have to worry about, being bound to the studio. So it's really nice to work with a very flexible and I don't know, I feel like markers feel very playful to me. They don't feel like, they're not so serious. They're like, they show marks sometimes, and that really reminds me a lot of like painting. So I enjoy that, but I know like as a teacher who, I try to expose my students to a lot of different mediums. Like they sometimes don't like markers that leave like lines or marks, visible marks. I personally love that, but they don't. So I feel like that little bit of like texture and mark making brushwork that you see evident in your marker drawings, I love that. It reminds me of painting. It reminds me of, and when I see it on other people's work, but it reminds me of the human being that made that. It is a like, it captures the artist's hand, and for me that's something I love. That's something I want to see. So that's one of the things that I love, and I you get that a lot also with the water-based markers, which are the ones I use are the Tombos. And I know some people don't like those. My students definitely don't like those. Um, I love them because they are very textural. They do leave a lot of marks, and that's just, evidence of humanity, right? Evidence of a human who created that, which is important to me. And when I look at artwork, that's what I want to see. I know that it's just my personal preference. It's what one of the things that I love about painting is still being able to see the trace of the human hand. And I know a lot of people really work hard to get rid of that. And even that is, still evident to me. So, like, when I saw Chuck Close's paintings, and I was like, wow, like, you have to be like an inch away from his paintings to see any evidence of a brush stroke. And that in itself is also really like magical to me. It's like, I don't know, it's impressive. And although I do love to see the mark, it also speaks a lot to the way the technique the artist had to use to remove it. So that is valuable and important to me. All that to say, I like markers. I like them now. I was never a marker person before, but now I'm totally into markers, and I like to play with them all the time. You finished this one now. Okay, you're gonna try something else. Awesome. Yes, I think that's a great idea. I really wanted to finish mine too, and then I definitely forgot about it. I had a ton of homework, and then with my training, I felt very like overwhelmed last week, so I didn't even think about my sketchbook. Didn't come over, didn't look at her. I did actually have to do some work for my training, so I made these paintings or drawings, and I just really was like, I don't have the ability to focus on too much right now, so I did them all in my sketchbook, and I used my markers for them. And then I had my classwork also. So again, I was feeling very overwhelmed. And even though I left on Thursday feeling like I wanted to finish this, I forgot completely about it. It was not something I had the time or the energy to do. So I barely made it through last week. Not gonna lie. It was rough. But I'm practically done with my graduate class. So I'm also taking a class for my master's in art history, and that class has also been kind of a doozy for me. I don't know why I'm feeling like, I'm just really glad that this didn't happen during the school year when I'm like teaching, because literally how could I do all that? I don't know, because I'm feeling very overwhelmed by the workload, and I know it's not even that much. I mean, I know I have it. I have privilege, and I'm not in it. I'm not working right now, but like, I'm not going to a job every day. So I get to use this time for, my little fun projects, and I'm just dying to play with my Cricut this week. And I keep telling myself, no, you have to finish your homework first. So I'm trying to do that, but I'm glad you got to finish yours. Originally, I had thought that maybe that's what I would do, and I was like, how am I going to make it another week without finishing this drawing? You haven't gotten the markers yet. You wanted to write letters. Yes. Okay. Super cool. You're going to write letters and send a picture to some people, that just because I think that's so awesome. Yeah, I did. I don't know, Emily, if you are on like following my Patreon, but I have a whole like video of like hand lettering, which if you feel like playing with your markers, you could do like some hand lettering stuff, and then maybe that could be something that you incorporate into your letters. So, I mean, I don't know if you like that kind of thing. I love that kind of thing. That's why I always try to leave room for some text somewhere. Not always sure where it's going to go. Can't remember which one is the darkest version. The one downside I would say is that sometimes these markers don't actually like really look like the colors that you see. I do wish that they could be a little more accurate. Let me see if I can make this look a little more. Let me see, it's not that side actually. I'm gonna make this look a little more coney. I mean, this is not the first time I've done some sort of like waffle cone, and I do really enjoy painting these little like, what are those? Like little nooks? I don't know. Waffles. It's just, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't take that much, but once you start doing it, it's like, wow, it really does look, it starts to look really like it has form. And you don't need too much to create that, which always like I looked up at the screen and I can see how it looks, and I'm like, wow, it's already looking coney, you know, or like waffly. I don't know what a good adjective for that is, but so these always are really fun for me, I think. Working on those like negative spaces. And this would be like the space in between the raised areas. So I'd already kind of blocked it in with marker. And of course I did have to invent some of it because there was a finger here, right here-ish. And there is not a finger anymore. So I'll have to pretend like I know what happens in that area, even though I don't. And this becomes like very light. Okay, I'm just gonna put a few touches on this side because the light is definitely coming from this side. So I don't want that much there. I think we can even go a little bit darker here. Oops, I think I accidentally went over the edge that I did not want to do. Let's try this one. This will give us just a little bit more darkness. I'm trying to figure out where to put this little shadow. I don't want to do too much, just a little. These definitely have a little bit more. Okay. I feel like I went on the wrong side, but no, I didn't. I don't think I did. I just keep wanting to do it on a different side, and I really shouldn't. Okay, we're trying to do a little bit less, so it looks like it's kind of like slowly transitioning into the dark right there. So I need to be a little bit more sparse. And then I just look for the areas that I feel like have a little bit more darkness and just touch those areas there. You don't have to do too much. Like right here, I could use a little bit more because it's right under the ice cream. There can be a little bit there. Okay. I'm gonna leave it sort of like that. And I think I went over something here that I wasn't supposed to. Let me see if I need to touch up a little. I can't remember where it was, but okay, we're gonna leave that. I'll use some of the yellow to add shadow right here. I wanted to use the green, and sometimes when you stack them up, like I feel like you can create like an optical blend. Like it's kind of looks like it's a different color even though it really isn't. And I do appreciate that about these markers. Like you can like stack them up, and sometimes I'll do, I think we did that last week. I'm gonna try this one. I don't know, this one might be too much. Like if I put it right on top of that orange right there. So I'm gonna put some on here, which seems strange to be adding green into my vanilla ice cream. But then if I take like that yellow again, or even this, my problem is I can't remember which one I used, and I just kind of like put it on top, it will, the green kind of will peek through from underneath, and it might look like a slightly different color. Hi Sarah, good morning. Hi Cordelia, morning. How are you guys? Thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, I mean, I just kind of like picked up where we left off, and we will see how it turns out. This one I feel like it's doing a little bit of resisting here. I'm gonna put it right back on top of that yellow again and see if I can get them to kind of really blend just a little bit. I just want it to look sort of like it's a shadow and not like a bunch of like sprinkles or something like that. Yeah, I feel like that works a little bit. It's kind of like when I look at it up there, kind of just looks like a little bit more like deep. Okay, so I can put a little bit of shadow on some of these little jimmies. I always feel like this is something I sometimes don't put enough time into, but I do think that it adds a lot. So, I mean, I know they just seem like sprinkles, but I would recommend you put a little tiny shadow on them or the ice cream next to them. Sarah, my AP training was great. I mean, it was actually very good compared to some that I've taken before. You know, when they're virtual, they can be a little brutal, just like being on the computer all day. I remember when I saw that it was going to be 8 to 5, I was like, I can't. I was already like concerned. And the teacher was so great. Like she was very, you know, well, go ahead and get into your studios and go work, and then we'll meet back in an hour. And so it was really nice to not be like, you know, micromanaged. And it helped me to be able to do some of the homework that I had pending. So I was able to still like multitask and do, but I did feel like overwhelmed by that. I was just telling everybody that I felt like I was like trying to think about, because I still had to make art in that class, but then I was like also talking about art for my art history class. And so I just kept getting them all like mixed up, like my signals were getting crossed. Okay, so I like my cone. She looks good, I think. The only issues I have is really that there's like not a really like good separation between the two. So I feel like it's a little hard to see. I think I'm going to use a little bit of this green here just to, I don't know, define it. The problem is that this side wouldn't, I'm actually changing my mind. Live, I'm changing my mind. I think that the problem is that this side is supposed to be lighter. So it doesn't make sense to me to have the darker part there. So I'm actually going to switch gears and use my lighter marker to kind of draw out that edge instead of using the dark one. Even though my instinct kind of wanted me to do that, I tried it and it didn't look good. So there we go. I think that's going to be better. I don't know. Maybe when I come in with a pencil, I did use my Prismacolor pencil yesterday or last week or the week before. Sorry. And so I think that I could probably use that. Although I do have to say that I think I'm enjoying the fact that there isn't a lot of really like harsh line work. That is definitely not my instinct as a drawer. I always feel like I want to add lines. And sometimes I feel like when I don't add lines, my painting or my drawing just looks a little bit more sophisticated. I think it feels a little more like natural, right? Because I mean, we don't really see a lot of lines in nature. So, I'm always struggling with I want to put them where they are, but I don't want to add them where they're not. But the outline thing really, I love an outline, so I'm always like fighting myself to do that. But sometimes I'll do like this one, for instance. I feel like it's not really like a lot of lines, and I love the way these look. So I was very pleased with this, and so I kind of want to capture that if I can. Okay, let me see. Let me wake up my screen here. Otherwise, okay. The sketchbook that I'm using right now, Nina, is a super duper cheap sketchbook from Michaels. I wish I could tell you. Wait, I'm sure it says it here somewhere. What kind of sketchbook it is, I don't know. It was just, they were like on sale and I bought like four of them. I think they were like buy one, get one free. So I bought a couple. I think I got one for like my niece and I got her some markers and then I just got the other ones because I think I have like two of these. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it was like Artist Loft or whatever that brand is that they carry. It's not great, but I will tell you there are some benefits to this cheapy sketchbook. Number one, the paper is like, I love a dot grid. There's a dot grid on here. I don't know if that's visible for you. Yeah, there it is. I love a dot grid. I sometimes need the grid to help me, line things up. And so the dot grid, I love it, right? And it's so soft that you really can't see it when it's done, when your work is done. The paper's also thick, right? But it's very, very smooth. Yeah, the markers don't bleed, but these are acrylic, so maybe that's why. They don't like acrylic markers. To me, they don't really like bleed too much. Like look right behind it. Now if it was alcohol markers, that would be a whole other story. I don't think I have any alcohol marker in here, but yeah, I mean all of this I think has been. This is all acrylic marker. Yeah. So the paper's thick, but it's very, very smooth. There's no tooth. And I think that's really good for acrylic markers just because I'm trying as much as I can to preserve the integrity of my nib. And, if you're using really rough paper or textured paper, your nibs are going to take a beating. So I think it works really well for this paper. And that was just a pleasant surprise. I don't usually use a sketchbook. I just wanted to start a new one just for like drawing with my markers. And so that's what I use. So it might be Artist Loft. Unfortunately, I don't think it has like a brand name that I can see. Maybe you see it. I don't know. But I will tell you that they have a bunch of colors and they're usually very cheap. I want to say it might have been like a less than $10 sketchbook. I don't really remember, but it has been sitting in my closet for at least a year, and I said it was time to use it. All right, let's go over here and start playing with this text. Now, I do love some text. I want to make sure it's not wet. So I wanted to include some lettering. I was just like, I've been writing a lot of notes for my final project I'm doing for my art history class. And I've been like, I don't know, experimenting with changing my lettering a little bit. And I found like a drawing, like a lettering style that I like. And I wanted to try to make sure I incorporated it. But it has to do a lot with the letter A. And I don't have any A's in here. I like my new letter S, which is kind of like slanted and like elongated. And I like my new letter A, which is like a lowercase a, even though I mostly write with uppercase. And I also want to use a lowercase I. I don't know. I just feel like I like the textures of having like uppercase and lowercase together. Oh, thank you. My cone. Yeah, I feel like it reads, right? It reads coney. We're just going to pretend that hand isn't there. You can't really see it from far, but I mean, I know it's there. So I'm playing with my letters. I always love, I mean, you know already that I love to add like a drop shadow or whatever this is. So I tend to do that. I like to, this is a good opportunity for me to just kind of play with colors, put them together, see how they look next to each other. And I'm still struggling with all these oranges because I feel like I keep thinking that I'm picking up one and it looks like a different one. But it's fine. We'll just see where it takes us. So this week I'm very excited because I get to, I think I'm trying really hard to finish my final project for my art history class. And then I get to be on like actual summer break. I'm just going to go to yoga class and maybe take walks in the morning before it gets brutally hot. And then draw or paint. Maybe I'll start painting something. I have some canvases on my easel right here and I just haven't even touched them. This is, I'm gonna use the lighter green. This one. I want to sometimes, take things off the page and make them kind of overlap and underlap. There, I like that. Just adding a few little embellishments. Put them in the back like that. And here's my other green, which is also very similar to this green. We'll see if it shows up. It's very subtle, which might be nice, but not using any more photos, so I'm just gonna leave that off. I don't know, I do feel like I need that like darker color. I also added yesterday, no, I'm sorry, I keep saying yesterday, but it was actually like 2 weeks ago. When I finished this, I had this like washi tape that was just sitting around on my desk. And I thought, wow, those colors of that washi tape will fit in perfectly with the colors I chose for this. So I just put a little piece there, just a little visual element. Looks a little boring right now. Let's try this. Let me put one here. So tomorrow we'll kind of like, I'll show you how I turn them into stickers if that's something you're interested in. I don't know, I feel like that's a little bit hard for me to do like on a live stream because of the camera. So I don't know, it would be nice to do that. But I don't know, that might need to be like a video that I edit because it's hard on live to do things that, kind of move me around from the desk. So it's something I'd like to do, but will I be able to? I'm not 100% sure yet. Okay, so I just want to give you guys a little heads up about that, just in case, because I don't want you to feel like, you know, I just changed all the plans even though I said I was going to do that. Okay, today is the 23rd. I always love to add that. And then, you know, besides helping me to recall, you know, dates and times, right? I also really like this as a visual element. It's just like, I don't know, it's a different texture. It's sort of like the tape, like just adds like a different texture to the page. So we have these like little drawings and doodles, but then we also have these little like moments where they feel like there's a different element in there, right? I don't know if that's making sense, but let's see. So I feel pretty good about this. I think one thing that I brought out last week that I didn't bring out today was white, because I think I might like that. Sometimes if spaces or like things feel a little too like heavy, I kind of want to do it there, but I can add a little bit of white and it feels like it kind of like lifts off a little bit of that, you know, weight, visual weight from the shapes that I draw in. So let me try something here. I don't know if this is a good idea. We'll see. I feel like I can probably just end this one here like this. Might be overworking it. And just because I have time doesn't mean I should add more stuff. Okay, put a little bit in here, and there, and then there. Okay. Okay, so this will take like a little bit of time to dry. There were some like little ghosty stuff that, let me turn off this picture, hold on. I have a little bit of time, so this will give me some time to chat with you a little bit about what we have here. So I did add in a few like little things that filled up some of those empty spaces, but you can still see some of the ghosts of my sketch behind. And you know, that's why we sketch with like a really light color, just because I want to make sure that if it doesn't, like if I make a mistake, like the lines can be hidden. But I personally don't mind seeing those every now and then. Like you could, if you really wanted to, like this one right here is pretty noticeable. I could use the white and I could kind of like erase it, so to speak, but I'm not super concerned about that. So also the watermelon has a lot of like little lines around it. I also have a lot of this here, but I don't have it really anywhere else. So I might need to do something like that. I don't remember exactly how we did that. I think I put the green on top of the red orange. Let's try it here. Trying to like mix them together, but it's just really kind of covering it up. And I don't recommend you do this. I'm getting a lot of like green on top of my orange, and you might not want to contaminate your nibs like that, but I'm not really like super concerned about that. Let me see if I can, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I do really kind of worry about things like that, like balance. Like this is visually very heavy and there's none of it over here somewhere. I could probably do something like that there, but it's not super bothering me, but I'm noticing it. So sometimes when I'm noticing it, that's enough for me to have to work on it. But yeah, this is the one we did. We started the week before last, and now we're finished with it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to photograph this, right? And I usually will I'll photograph the markers so you can see all the colors I use. And I will photograph the final spread and I'll post it on Patreon so everybody can see it, right? Then what I'll do is I will take pictures of this and I will put it on my iPad. And then that way tomorrow I can show you how I turn them into images. And then, I don't know, I might not. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. If you have any ideas about how I should handle that, because I just keep thinking, like, how will I show you the Cricut stuff? I don't think I can show you that. So, anyway, this is the one we did the week before last and just finished it today. So, I'm going to put today's date. Then we did this one also the week before last. This was like Monday and Tuesday. And this was, no, this was Tuesday and Wednesday. And this was Thursday. And so what we can do, if we don't do stickers tomorrow, we will start a new spread. And so I'll just move on to the next page, which will be back here somewhere, and we'll start another one. So I'm not sure what tomorrow's theme will be. I'm trying to kind of just like, go with the flow and whatever I'm feeling at that time. But I know we had some general like themes. So I'm going to try to stick with those. And those are also posted on Patreon. So if you would like to see what we're going to draw tomorrow, definitely go check out Patreon. It's probably on the calendar. I can't quite remember. And I will post a video link for tomorrow's live stream. And I'll also post the reference photos. So if you're not following me on Patreon, please do so. And that way you can see them there and you'll have access to them. And you also get reminders of when we're going live. So I'm going to go ahead and stop our live stream a little bit early just because I'm already finished. And we will start a new one tomorrow. Maybe I'll also show you how I just take pictures of my work and then how I turn them into like stickers. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that. So please don't hold me to that one because I'm not sure yet. I'm just not sure if I should bother doing all of that if I can't show you the whole process. Like it feels like, why am I going to show you that and waste a whole day for that when I could just start a new one? But maybe I'll make a separate video where I just kind of show you like, this is how I make my drawings into stickers. So we can focus this week on just drawing. And then next week, I'll hopefully have for you a video to show you how I turn them into stickers. Yes, thank you so much for being here, Sarah. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully I get to see you tomorrow. Thank you guys for coming and dropping it and keeping me company while I draw. I really love seeing all your comments, and I love just feeling like I'm drawing with a bunch of other artists and we're all together. So hopefully you will be able to join me tomorrow. I will post the link on Patreon and I'll send a reminder again on Instagram. I almost forgot today. I was so glad I didn't forget. But yes, thank goodness for those iPhone reminders. Yes, can't wait to see you tomorrow, Nina. Have a beautiful day. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.